What up, everybody? You are now tuned into my podcast, Difficult People Chronicles. I'm Seriously Focused Johnnie, SF Johnnie. Today's episode is called In the Gaslighter's Clutch. So, this message came to me this morning, actually. And as you know, from the sound of my voice, probably that I got up not too long ago. And I'm putting this out there to you all. So, when we are true, authentic to our truest self, being our truest self, helping people in need, and whatever we do is natural, sometimes we lend a hand to helping a person whose intent is to harm us, destroy us, or kill us. This stems from jealousy, ego issues, greed, from them just not being right on the inside, meaning their heart. Whatever is not right on the inside reflects outward. I say this because, I would say Friday, I was in a space that wasn't right, meaning that I was a little saddened, but I didn't know why, what was going on. And I remember prior to that, a few days before, this guy was telling me about the whole situation going on in Jamaica with the false prophet doing a cult and stuff in the church. And then Friday came around, and a friend of mine gave me the article to read, and I read it, and I was just like, wow, this is insane. It was crazy. I felt a heavy weight on me. And it was just because it's a lot of times we have situations in our life where things is not going right, or some people sick, illness, whatever. And instead of turning to God, we turn to man. And a lot of these people are not right. They pretend that they're walking on a straight path. They end up deceiving, and it's crazy. It's a lot of people out there that's like that. I remember this guy who he was calling himself a preacher and all this other stuff, and then every time you turn around, he was just stuff spilling out of his mouth was crazy. It was just he was sitting on a podium just talking about his congregation in the worst way. He was far from uplifting souls. So that was the last time he saw me. Trust me. And it wasn't a situation where he was just saying, don't do this and don't do that. No, he was just basically standing on the podium being gangster. I was just this man is insane. So back to what I was saying, for some reason, when we are not strong in the word, we don't look to the word. Our discernment is off. We give too many passes to people that are not right. And then things turn in the worst way. The question is, what is the worst way? The worst way is things we are seeing in the world, abuse, where a person is in the wrong relationship and a person is being disrespectful, just slapping them in the street or kicking them or spitting at them, being stressed all the time. Every time you're around this person, you just stress. You can't even think straight. You can't even have a moment of peace or a moment to yourself. That person is just always in your face or in your ear, yelling, cursing, or bringing up other people's issues. You lose your job because of this person. You lose friends and family. You have a person around you that's toxic, and you always think that your friends and your family is supposed to be there regardless. At some point in time, you have to understand that these people around you, your family and your friends, they need peace too. And if you're not willing to deal with your situation and get rid of whatever's in your life that's toxic, then they're not going to want to deal with you. They can only handle but so much. Another thing is being attacked. Sometimes when you around the wrong person, that person is scheming and plotting to set you up. And that means another party being involved to attack you. I think the thing that leaves people in this position is you always feel the need to fix a broken person. So you always asking why. Why would they do this? Why did this happen? Get yourself out the situation, you know, and never mind the why. Sometimes that person's just not right. You have people around you trying to steal your identity. When we were young, it was all cool for a person to be, you and your best friend to have on the same shirt or sneakers, just different colors. As you get older, it's a different ball game. It's eerie. I know because I walked into a person's house, and the layout of their house was almost exactly like mine. They dress almost the way I dress, or everything I buy they want to buy. That's not cool. Have your own taste. That's not cool. It's eerie because it says are they trying to steal your identity, or they like the same type of man you like? Why we gotta be the same? Why does my house have to look like your house? Why is it that the men I like, you like? Why is it that the way I dress, you dress? Why is it that you say to me, oh, I wish I thought the way you thought, or I wish, and everything equates to you? You got to look at that, because sometimes certain things run deeper than you think. Another thing would be being tortured and tricked to believing that you need to stay with this person. People will sit around and make it seem like you're so broken that they can help you. A broken or a crazy person, a narcissist, a psychopath, a gaslighter, a devil, a demon, a Satan, or Lucifer cannot help you be whole. Understand that. You need to look at that person, because that person is going to try to break you even further just so you can stay. It's called manipulation. When others are on the board and you don't have a support group. Okay, so that's when you're in a clique. When you are in a clique with a group of people that say you need to be like us, and they are worse than you need to look at that group. The Bible talks about fellowship, but not about that kind of fellowship, because sometimes you will put yourself in a group that is not right, and these people don't support you. They support the devil, and they want you to be on board. You need to pay attention to that. You need to open up your eyes. Why is my computer acting up all of a sudden? Yeah. Anyway, you need to open up your eyes and see what's not right. Because what happens is you endure the torture. And little by little, your spirit, your soul, your sound mind is destroyed. So here's a suggestion. Here's a tip. Go to God in prayer for protection. Because when you start to separate yourself from things that don't need to be in your life, you're going to be met with obstacles, drama, that gaslighter trying to hold on to you. Ask God for direction, because there might be some things in your life that you need to identify and start working on. And you need to see that that person or those people in front of you are not right. Walk with like-kind people and heal. Like I said before, walk with like-kind people and heal. And in Acts, because now I'm reading the book of Acts. So in Acts chapter 2 verse 44 to 47, it says, all the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God, enjoying the favor of all people. And the Lord added to their numbers daily those who were being saved. That's the New International Version. Then in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 11, it says, therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. So your support group is supposed to build you the way you are building them, right? Then in Proverbs 27:17, it says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. That's my favorite verse in Proverbs 27. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. I feel that when it comes to my friends, if there's something if they can't bring that to the table, meaning whatever I give them, I expect them to give me so we could grow together, then our friendship is not going to last for too long. I could tell you that. And if I see something in them that's not right, it's not going to last for long. Because some people just have an ulterior motive. And last, I say, walk with God and not ahead of Him. That was something that came to me, not today, but yesterday. Walk with God and not ahead of Him. A lot of time, God gives us the message, and instead of we walk with Him to a certain period of time, but then we feel we know it all because our ego chips in. So that's something that we need to deal with. And then we go ahead of God, thinking we know everything. And then what happens? We run ahead of Him straight into the clutch of the devil. And that takes me to the last. Acts chapter 2 verse 17. In the last days, God says, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and your daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see vision. Your old men will dream dreams. So that means for some of you all, He's giving you the gift. But He's saying be patient. You have to strengthen it and grow within it. But you can't go ahead of God. You have to walk with Him. In all your days, you have to walk with Him. A lot of times people get this thing and they just go ahead of Him. They don't walk with Him. They leave Him behind. They become all this that the world sees, and then they end up in a whole lot of trouble. And none of this information is not new to you. Some of it might be, but some of it isn't. Well, the part that I'm talking about, going ahead of God, is not new to you because you see it in the world. It's just put a little differently. You see people going ahead of God and they just ending up in all sorts of trouble. And some, it's not even trouble. They end up dead. You got to go to God. When you walk into some of those churches and you stand in front of certain people, you got to constantly ask God if you should be there in that church in front of that person. God is not going to tell you that you shouldn't be at church, but that church might not be the church for you. That person that's preaching in front of you and praying over you might not be the person that should be preaching and praying over you. And I felt that article that I read, what was going on in Jamaica with, his name was Kevin Smith. it that was an example. Like, that's crazy. I felt like all those people in that church was bewitched, and the ones that reported him was in a sound mind. Yeah, you gotta turn to God. So I'm gonna repeat what I just said. Suggestion: go to God in prayer for protection and direction. Walk with like kind, meaning people that believe in God, the Word, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. And walk with God and not ahead of Him, because He'll show you who's right and who's not right. So that's it for today. My recordings is on YouTube, but also I'm about to upload other things on YouTube. Check it out, like and subscribe, and check out my store. Check out I just can't believe that article. Check out my store, and for one-on-one sessions, group sessions, hit me up. And have a blessed week. Love me more and I love you more. And thank you for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Later.